Hello, friends. This is Attorney Robert West. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The topic of this video is, will Donald Trump's association with Jeffrey Epstein sink his presidency? Before we start, just want to thank all the new viewers to the YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It's free of cost. Helps the channel get the information out there. Makes us grow a little bit. Also, feel free to hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the content. And let's get back to the video. So this Epstein-Trump stuff has been going on now probably a good week and a half, 2 weeks. I've been considering whether or not to make a video about it, only because there's so much material out there right now talking about it, but I decided to put my own view on it, and let's get into it. So I want to talk about the history first a little bit. So Jeffrey Epstein was in jeopardy of being convicted of sexual types of crimes with minors on at least 3 occasions. The first was in the state of Florida, and he was convicted, was sent to prison, seemed to have received special privileges while in prison, and this occurred around 2005. Okay, that's one. In 2007, the federal government was looking at him, and he made a very sweetheart deal with the Florida U.S. Attorney, Mr. Acosta, who then later became one of his cabinet secretaries. Did not go to prison for that. And finally, he was prosecuted in New York in 2019, sent to prison, and then August 10th of that year, died in his cell. The medical examiner found there was a suicide, but there's still a lot of questions about that because the cameras at the penal institution weren't working properly, so they didn't catch the death of him allegedly hanging himself. Okay, so that's the basic history of his criminal life. Now, let's talk about his relationship to Donald Trump. Trump met Epstein sometime in the 80s. Exact date, no one's really sure of. Trump and Epstein partied quite a bit together for many years, up and until, maybe 2004, 2005-ish. And these guys would party in many different ways. Trump and Epstein went to Trump's casino in Atlantic City. There was a story this week from the former CEO of Trump's casino that one night Trump and Epstein and a party of 3 women, young women, arrived at about 1:30 in the morning, and somehow the New Jersey Gaming Commission found out that at least one of the ladies was only 19 in that party. Now, is that legal age to, meet a woman, whatever, date a woman, etc.? Sure. But it's not legal age to come to a casino. The legal age at a casino is 21. So they contacted the CEO and said, hey, this is what's going on. And the CEO goes, well, how do you know she's under 21? He goes, because she's the number 3 ranked tennis player in the world, and I'm a tennis fan. So that's one clear incident that an underage woman was with Trump and Epstein at the casino. Underage meaning under 21, not a minor. Okay, that's one incident. Second, Trump traveled to Epstein's private island several times on a plane. There's flight logs to show this. And that he obviously went there to party. So what was he doing there? You know, that's a great question. Now, Epstein's activities, I find it seriously hard to believe, and anybody should find it hard to believe, that Epstein one day went from dating of age women to underage women. That's not how it works. Usually this pattern of behavior is for years and years and years and years. Okay. Epstein in 2000, I believe 2004, is like 50 years old, something like that. So this would have been something that would just come on right away. He liked being with minors, illegally being with minors. Now, Trump was around this man quite a bit, as reports go. And you have to wonder, well, why is Donald Trump hanging out with this guy if he knows this guy likes minors? I think back in the day, Donald Trump didn't care one damn bit. And the question is, well, if he was hanging out, was that the whole modus operandi of everything that they did together? I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's not unreasonable to believe this may have not been limited to Epstein himself, but could have extended to Trump. You know, we've seen many videos, these guys together partying, some photos of them together. The new allegation is the Wall Street Journal published a story about a letter or a doodle, so to speak, that Trump wrote. And of course, Trump immediately said, I don't doodle, I don't do this. And yet we've already found evidence that he did do that. He did some stuff for charity, whatever. So, you know, the problem is you can't believe a word Donald Trump says. Donald Trump lies about everything. What he didn't expect is this to come back. And it came back not because of Democrats chasing him around. It was his own MAGA party that he kept promising Epstein information. And let's go over this for 1 second. Why did these MAGA people get so interested in Jeffrey Epstein? Not because of what he was accused of doing. No, that's not it at all. This goes back to the thoughts about what they used to call Pizzagate, when people claimed Hillary Clinton in a pizza parlor basement in Washington, D.C. was trafficking children. Of course, it wasn't true. And that's because people actually showed up there and there was nothing there. There's nothing to see. But they believed that some of the lies that Trump was spreading was that somehow this information was being protected because a lot of Democrats were participating in these type of illegal activities with minor children. That's why they're interested. They didn't think it through, though. Donald Trump was good friends with Epstein for, I'd say, minimum of 15 years. Some even said that was his best friend. So what were these guys doing hanging out together? Both had money. Both had, through that money, had quite a bit of power. The answer is we're not 100% sure yet, but it sure isn't looking all that good for Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump has been leading on his followers for years about this story. He's now claiming that Democrats somehow manipulated a file about Epstein. He's blaming Barack Obama. He's blaming Hillary Clinton. He's blaming this and that. But here's the thing. When Jeffrey Epstein was prosecuted in New York, it was in 2019. Barack Obama wasn't president. Hillary Clinton wasn't even running for president. Joe Biden wasn't president yet. So this is just fabricated. It's made up. It's one of his lies that he tells all the time. And he tells these lies because he thinks people are that stupid. And he thinks his followers are stupid. And frankly, many of them are stupid for even believing one word of what this man says without verifying it. But at some point, the waking up part is coming. And they are waking up a little bit. Not all of them. Some are backing him no matter what. But a lot of others have a lot of questions for the man. And there are many, many questions. You know, as somebody that didn't follow this whole story too much till recently, my question was, if this Epstein was involved in thousands of minors involved, how is it that only him and Ghislaine Maxwell were even indicted and convicted? Where's the people that were abusing these children, these young women, these young female children? They couldn't find nobody to prosecute? That seems awfully crazy. So to the federal government who prosecuted these two cases, you did a really crappy job. If that's the only people you got, and you didn't get any of the people who supposedly paid for these services, that is awfully crappy job. You did a very, very terrible job. You didn't do a good job. You didn't follow up. You didn't do it. What did you get? You didn't get, Epstein engaged in these acts. There's no doubt about that. And Maxwell helped Epstein do these acts. That's true. But where the hell are all the Johns, as they call them? Where are they? Now there's rumors that there are politicians on that list. There are actors, entertainers, musicians, whatever. Look, I want to see all this information come out, and if they still are able to prosecute these people because they have the proper evidence, they should be prosecuted. It's not even a question. These are almost as horrific as murders. Not quite, but almost. These should be top of the line, because this is the children that were affected by this. It didn't just affect them for a week or a day. It usually affects them for the rest of their lives. And some never, ever, ever can work their way through it, through any kind of treatments, therapies, whatever. So these are horrific crimes. But what happened? Where's the prosecutions? And my opinion, just my opinion, it was the money. The money is what slowed down and completely stopped most of these prosecutions. Or the fact that there was political power and other types of economic power these people had. Was there any senators Congress people, and I don't know. But now, one person that probably knows a lot more than anybody else left on this planet is Ghislaine Maxwell. She may even have files, like real files. For me, I'd be willing to cut her sentence in half to get that information. Half. If she was going to get 20, let's reduce it to 10 or even 7, whatever it might be. Because this information has got to come out. It's got to be credible. And if there's people that we can still prosecute for doing this, I don't care if they're 95 years old, they got to be prosecuted. There's no question. This is something that cannot be overlooked. So now let's tie this all in. What can this sink the presidency of Donald Trump? Absolutely. If it comes out and there's some reasonable proof that he participated in these type of activities, then Donald Trump will need to leave office. That's 100%. Here's a little advice for you, Donald Trump. Talk to your vice president. Tell him, look, I'm willing to resign. I need to be pardoned for everything I've done, the new stuff, the old stuff, whatever, at least federally. And I'll resign and go away somewhere nice and quiet for the rest of my life. Mar-a-Lago, wherever the hell else you want to go. That's what Donald Trump should do. But with an ego like his, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Just like all the other dictators, Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, etc. Generally, they got offered these sweetheart deals. You leave power, you go anywhere in the world, we won't chase you, we'll give you billions of dollars to live comfortably for the rest of your life. And 99 times out of 100, you know what they do? They don't want to leave. They don't want to give up the power. And so, what happened? Gaddafi's dead. Saddam Hussein and his sons are dead. Learn from history, Donald. Learn from history. So yeah, this could definitely sink his presidency, because if that comes out, that there's some evidence that he participated, he will probably lose 60 to 70% of his MAGA supporters. Now, what does that really mean? It means that he's going to lose a lot of his Congress. They're not going to be able to support a pedo president. They're just not going to be able to do it. And frankly, the only thing they care about more than Donald Trump is their own careers and their own survival. So yeah, this could sink them. This information is out there somewhere. If some people have it, we need to get it. Because we can't have a person who has done anything like we think that may have been done to lead this country. No way. That's the bridge too far for many of these MAGA people. The 34 felonies, the determination by a civil jury as a sexual abuser, all the other horrible things this man has done. That wasn't enough. But this is enough to sink him. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out in the following days and weeks and months. Now, as you may or may not know, Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch, and a couple others for this story that came out yesterday about the doodles, the kind of the perverted doodles and all that stuff. They gave this thing to Epstein for his 50th birthday. And Trump claimed that, I don't draw, I don't do this. And then, of course, immediately they found something where he draws. And so, again, it's more lies. Why does this guy lie? Second nature, that's why he lies. because it makes him look real bad. So that's the first thing he does, is say it never happened. But it did happen. He's done doodling before. He's not actually, from what I saw, actually wasn't all that bad either. So this will all eventually come out, because when you're a public guy, and Trump was a big public guy back in New York City in the day, you know, he was on page 6 of the was it the Post? I haven't lived on the East Coast in a long time, so I forget the name of the paper, but he was a page 6 guy, always getting information out there about himself to look at the top. But the other thing about Donald Trump is he's a serial cheater. He's cheated on every wife he's ever had. Everybody knows it. He's cheated with multiple women. Remember the Stormy Daniels case, the porn star? Cheated with her. Cheated with Karen McDougal, the Playboy model. Okay? And that's on the current wife. And this was right after the wife gave birth to their child. So he's a lowlife, for sure. For sure. You know, some people make mistakes when they're younger, and then they learn to not make those mistakes again. Donald Trump, it's never been a mistake for him. He does what he wants. He doesn't care. He doesn't follow any norms. You know, and why these wives would have stayed with him, don't know. Maybe it's the money. So, hey, friends, that's kind of my view of the situation. Feel free to comment and share. If you're enjoying the content, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's free of cost. Helps get the information out there. We'll follow up on this when there's information that actually explains this in more detail. Any more details that come out. But I have a feeling this is going to be the end for this guy. You know, all the stuff he got away with, this is going to be the one thing that he's not going to get away with. That's it for this one, guys. I hope you're having a good day. We'll see you in the next video.